you're gonna be like telling her goodbyes in the meeting. Actually, she was really, really like rude. And we excluded her from the meeting where we told the team that she's gonna be cut. Well, somebody invited her to the meeting without the VP knowing that she's in the meeting. She heard firsthand that she's gonna be let go. And the VP, somebody told her, "Hey, this person joined."
Ouch.
Well, the VP scheduled a 101 with the lady and said, "Hey, you're fired," and ended the meeting right there on the dot. It was the funniest thing ever. She tried to delay the meeting, like the initial one, but it didn't really work. So similar to what I was trying to do with Dumpster here.
So keep everything in composition. The fours are plus one.
Can you guys see my screen? Should be good.
Man, it's Tony. Come on.
All right, guys, let's start. Take a look what happened on ES. Well, I think we expected this run a little bit. All right, the short squeeze needed to happen. All the puts were loaded. All right, let's take just see how those candles look. Ooh, not the prettiest of candles. I mean, it's a good daily candle here. What a trap here. Okay, I'm just gonna clean some stuff up real quick. There goes the 37.15 again. And what shape were we in today? Oh, wow. I don't know what you call this.
Double big B.
Man, it looks like a letter E on steroids. Yeah, this is. So you have.
That's messed
so
up when Shorty says, "I don't know what you call this." Like, just we're dead. That's it. Done.
Well, it's just too many liquidity zones, right? It seems like there was a lot of retail in play today. It seems like they were aggressive today. Did you guys see the inflow on Apple and Tesla? It was mainly retail today.
How was that determined?
Well, when you don't have consistent volume and the volume is not really high today, the volume is kind of below average, right? I would say here. So there was a lot of selling volume too at one point, and then somehow we ended green. And there was an inflow I posted in Discord. There was about $500 million from retail because they can see who's buying at what quantities. Hedge fund would never buy 150 shares, but if there's a purchases of 150 shares million times, I think you can figure out who it is, right? It's just behavioral, how they're buying and selling.
Would retail include like pension funds as well, or not?
No, definitely not. No, pension funds, they don't buy 150 shares.
But we got 3,700 calls at the end of yesterday. So you were anticipating we were going up because we were bouncing off a cloud, right?
Well, the 4-hour cloud was closed yesterday. When I mentioned 3,700, my clouds on TOS closed, and we were inside doing a bullish money shot. And what did I tell you guys about the clouds being closed? If you're inside and closed, guys, it's pretty much 99% that we're gonna make money. And obviously, the futures dropped. Inside of me, I knew we were gonna run today. And I believed it. I mean, when I saw the drop, like that we dropped all the way down, I was like, okay, well, maybe the chances are low, but this is weird. The cloud was closed and they ran it through it. Then they ran it right back. I'm just interested in the JPM collar that's open. I don't know if Matteo is on. He knows it. We've been tracking it for a few days now to see what they're doing because there's a $12 billion order that has to be executed by Friday. Do you know if they closed it? I doubt they closed it. They usually roll it over on Fridays.
Yeah, or Thursday. It'll be a delta neutral roll though.
I know it is, but it depends where we close. If you're closing
Yes.
a little,
Yeah.
and if we go anywhere closer to that 4,000 level, man, ooh.
I
It's
think
gonna
the
be
short
interesting.
call is 4,005.
Yeah, 4,005 is the short call. So, I mean, imagine if they squeeze it all the way up there. It's going to be interesting how it reacts. I mean, 12 billion in big scheme of things is not a lot of money in the market, right? But it can drive some volatility in terms of the intraday stuff on Friday. Well, let's see. I think GDP numbers are tomorrow morning, so we'll know a little bit more. See what's going on.
What's a
So,
caller?
yeah. It's basically them hedging their positions. Matteo, if you understand it better, you can explain it. But it's basically them hedging their long positions, right?
Yeah, they sold calls in order
Yeah.
to finance puts, and then they also have a short put as well.
Yeah. I think it's missing one for a butterfly, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a directional protection, if that makes sense. I think it's called like a broken one in the strategy world of options. I'm not that familiar with all the options that they have. I just play long and short. But whenever you have something like this hedge that they have in, they're probably, if they don't roll it, if they close it out here, that would be really weird. They need to keep it rolling so you can see them still hedging, anticipating the downside. And if we push towards 4,005, then, I wonder what their bet would be. Would need to be a little bit bigger than 12 billion next time.
Thanks.
Let's see. So the PD, obviously, I mean, we moved up, even though it looks like a letter E shape, which we don't have. I wouldn't classify this as P. It's not at the highest node of the volume profile. So to me, this is like you can call it triple distribution because you have 1, 2, and 3 low distributions. So between and here, price ran. So now if you're able to break below this PD POC for tomorrow, and we are 37.17. I mean, this gives us some nice room to the downside. So we'll mark these real quick, excuse me, and then let's see. I think this POC is still important here. I think this is our SSL high here. You guys see that? So what should have happened here? Does anyone know from what we covered a few times? If you go over it, right? What is this thing called here when you come back in? What is this here? What do you call this?
Retest?
There's a specific name. It's correct. You're right. It's a retest.
Creek?
That's correct. That's a creek. On the bottom, when this happens, remember somebody said, man, we're gonna break down. I said there's a high chance we're gonna do a spring on the bottom. And spring it was. You dropped below it, you faked a lot of people in, and then you just exploded much higher, right? And then of course the volume is not agreeing with this move much up as we were pushing on 30 minutes. It's a descending volume, price is going up. That's the bearish sign. And there's a lot of volume anomalies in these candles if you guys look. But let's see, like this candle here, it's actually better. They corrected it here, but then this one here was not the best candle they needed. So let's see, but the bulls are there. They're around this price here. So if we do break 37.50, most likely 37.81, and as identified on the chart, that would be our short opportunity. If you wanted to go long here on a retest, you really need to close above this level here. Maybe on 5 minutes, let it go up somewhere around 37.60 to 66, and let it drop back inside. And then you can take it long, but just be careful of this zone. It doesn't mean, you get out at 3776, you start scaling out as you approach the level, right? Without looking in your P&L. So this. Did anyone check the weekly POC, the developing one? It'll be an interesting one.
Yeah, it's right below where we've closed.
Where's the value area high?
Right above or right below as well. Three, 7, 2, 2.
Okay. Yeah, so this is a D-shaped volume profile with the POC being on the bottom. That's a very interesting one because it doesn't signify a lot of buyers on the bottom because there's multiple distributions here, right? We had 3 distributions. It's really indecisive. So let's see here. So this is a perfect balance here. I mean, this is almost like a perfect standard deviation here, guys. This looks really good. So these areas, the value area high and low of this weekly, if it closes like this, are going to be fairly strong because all of the volume is heavily distributed, nicely distributed inside the 68, right? It's not skewed to the upside or downside, P or B, but it looks really, really strong. So these shelves here can act as what tomorrow? What do you guys think? Gonna
Retest.
be, gonna be
Support.
potentially nice supports, tomorrow.
And maybe resistance initially.
Well, it depends where we are. If we are above, if we open up here and they drop it in the morning, I would look to get some support around here first. This level here might be important. And it's, round number too, so. Let's see, let's just make this a little bit smaller. So we'll do the gap protection here, a little skinny, which matches this, which was resistance, and now, right? Then if they do come back to here, that would be good, because that would mean what in terms of resistance and support? Anyone?
What was the question?
So what would that mean here if you guys look? If you look at this chart, why is this level a little bit of importance right now? This 3702 on 65 minutes. Is it?
It flipped from resistance to support.
That's correct. It's a good flip. Remember, we talked about it in the PowerPoint. When the resistance flips support to resistance, that's a pretty big deal. So let's just go in ES real quick. I hope it doesn't delete it here. Okay. Where was it? 3702-ish, somewhere around here. So this is the
Yeah,
one that we were kind of after, right? 3700 even.
Yeah, it lines
it
up
was-
with a daily pivot too.
So let's see. So remember, if you're not perfect, and we're not trying to be perfect, this becomes it, right? So let's see. But the only thing is that you have kind of a SSL high here, right above it too. Probably go on this one here and call it a day. If you have this one here and then this one right here. And there's another one here in the middle. So if we lose this level, just charting that, without anything, right? If you lose this level, what would you guys expect here to happen? You lose the top one. You have a nice supply here, right? So you have a supply here, you have a demand here, and then you have a demand here. How would you guys play it?
Well, if it drops below that 3701 level, you'd wait for the retest and then play it downside. Then you got that other demand. Well, would you play that chop? It's still a good amount
Where
of point or
I would
levels.
play
Like at
every
the,
one of these. Yeah, I
so
would
if it
play every.
fell below 3701.50, then you wait for the retest and then you wait for it to come back down to 3657, and scale out there.
And how would we confirm all of this? With what?
Fixed or value profile.
From where?
Today's peak, and because it was a large move, so today's bottom to top.
Look at yesterday's volume profile.
We can look at yesterday's, correct? But I'm only interested to see where's the heaviest volume concentrated on this buying for a moment, and I'll show you a trick. I see the heaviest buying happened to be here towards the end of the day, and it seems like it's really heavy. But I'm also grabbing this down candle. What I'd like to do is kind of stop and see on this candle here at 3711, and I think we had this level on my other chart. I think it was 3711.50. Where's it? 37.25. It was a fairly important level, and now there's a POC there at this level right here. So if I mark this level for a moment, like this, there's a lot of resistance at this level too. So if you're able to break this POC, they can pin this price, and this is what they could do tomorrow for a lot of fault breakouts here, make lower highs. You want to be really, really quick tomorrow because it can be really volatile based on the news. So, you know, better to wait for a sure retest with a nice candle on every one of these tomorrow, because tomorrow might be choppy. They gave you a lot of points today from 3,600 all the way to 3,700. I mean, they gave you 130 points there. I doubt they're going to give you that tomorrow. The next thing that I would do here is grab this from here to here and look what's going on. So we have some fairly easy short. We just said that this was a heavy volume here, right? And it seems like that's the volume that they accumulated here for some time. So we are looking, you know, and this drop that's similar to another drop we had. If you guys look back, it's similar drops that we had here where we accumulated in this box. That's the box I meant to circle. If you grab this one as well, you would know that there's a lot of similarities between them. So if you look at this again, we tried to peak above it, right? We went above it. So let's see, you went above the value area high, you got rejected. You got rejected very close to the candle that the second candle of the sell-off, and here you are. First, second candle of the sell-off. I'm just pointing what I see. And then when you look at it here, it's like, okay, well, you came to all of those points. So this point, you know, here, not here, second candle right there. And then this is the second candle here. So you came very close to this identical setup. Now we watch if they're able to do the same thing here, right? They drop it inside. If they come back for a retest of value area high, that's also good. So if they come here, I don't know if you want to short it here because there's not a lot of meat for me in between these two. You guys see that? So for me, it's much easier to wait for this POC to break than kind of get stuck between 317, 17 and 11, right, for 6 points. So I would most likely wait, you know, watch the retest tomorrow and see how we open, how we react to the news. If we break the PD or this POC, cumulative POC at the beginning, there's a high chance we come back for a retest. And once we slice it, you know, there's a high chance you're going to go here to the bottom, which would be nice 50 points. So that's probably something I'll watch tomorrow just on of this consolidation here.
Shorty.
Sure.
With
Shorty
with
left.
if you have okay, so the 3711.25 price is important. What about all these other levels like 3703, 3716, 3700? How are you playing between these and not worrying about these levels? Which takes precedence over the other in importance of value?
That's a good question. So today on these levels, what level did I tell you guys I mentioned a few times, if it breaks, it's gonna run really, really strong. What was the level?
I don't remember. I was at work. I was in and out with listening to you guys and stuff.
Okay, so first, remember we talked about 3720 initially because this was the double bottom on the daily, that consolidation that happened. So we looked at the double bottom between here and here, and that was a consolidation level on it, the VAL. Right here, the green one. So once you get inside the VAL, there's a high chance that you're just gonna continue running, right? Once they got in, they were rejected. So this level 3720 for me was important, but then also 3736. 3736 opened up the doors because it was a skinny belly. There was a low liquidity zone right afterwards. So for me, those levels were important. Why I marked the other levels, like these levels, so I know where the congestion is. Look at this right here. How many times did we dance inside this here? And I'm in 10 minutes, right? I mean, you're talking about you're here for, what is this, 2 hours and 30 minutes. You're stuck between these levels. So that tells me two things, that the levels that I identified or we identified, they're working. And that tells me I don't want to trade in a zone where there's a lot of levels. When I don't have a level like this, I mean, I would take this trade, 16 points. That's pretty good trade. I would take this trade from here to here. So when I see a lot of levels, like key levels, like PD, POC, DB, and then we had 3711, I think it was a shelf that we had previously. I can't recall what it was. But when you have these levels that are important, whether you see the price rejecting or accepting it, driving it as support or resistance, you want to mark them because look, now you're telling, I mean, these points right here, they're tough to play. 10 points are pretty tough to play. And the way, SPX moves, not many traders can kind of catch that. So that's the purpose of me marking these levels. And then I look for levels where there's a little bit more space. Because I'd rather not trade here. Like if you look at this, I don't want to be stuck here. So I know if there's 3711 and I have a PD POC, to me, it's a heads up. Hey, don't trade this. Like we're building momentum, but don't trade this. Then you break it, come back inside, and you see that it's being respected. So then once you broke that chop, here, that they created, just price action wise, it was good. So that's how I would have, best explain it. And hopefully makes sense to you why I add these levels and the critical ones. I look for criticality with the gap in the levels. When there's more points, that's the ones I want to play with.
It makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And you see now, look, we're respecting that skinny belly 37, 36. We're respecting that. Probably not many people have that level because it's a weird level, right? And look how many times it got hit. It got hit at least 10 times here on 1 minute. So it's a good level to know. And we know you can potentially dance now between these two because what's the stock? What's stock market doing right now? Anyone?
Accumulation?
Consolidating.
Finding value.
We were in balance, and we created imbalance. We're back in balance. We're looking for new value to see if you're going to be accepted or not. How would you short this? If you know that this was the new value that's created, let me go on 15. If you know that they're trying to create new value here, well, if you just look at it, just look, here, let me just go on the chart. Nothing on it. Okay. So now you're above this. Well, you were above this. So let's say there's a high chance we drop tomorrow. If you look at this, right? If this is the new value that they're trying to hold, well, it needs to be accepted, right? We should not break it. So first, there was an imbalance in it, right here. They said, hey, we're happy trading, and then maybe some news came out or J Powell said something, and they're like, oh, news, let's go. And they create an imbalance. They pop it out of it, right? Well, acceptance happens when you pop out of it, you retest it, and the levels respect that level. That's the acceptance. Rejection is just the opposite. You pop back inside, and then you go back to the low, most likely. So now if you guys look here, just look on a little bigger picture. If you look here for a moment, I'll just chart this one. Trying to grab this candle here. So what do you guys think?
Either break out from that 37.43 level and retest and go up as an imbalance, or vice versa 36.08, or play the in betweens.
What about, does this change anything to you now?
Well, with that, it's still an area of congestion, so it would be safer if you went to that higher level.
Okay, what about now? Does anything change here?
It's all congestion.
Okay, but there's a critical change when I added a value area here. They tried to hold a value here, and you see nice two couple of taps, and they held it, right? They held the value, and then we lost it, right? That means you went from balance, just flip this chart, and you went to the imbalance to the downside. Then you had a really wide acceptance of the volume profile. So if you're to grab from here to here, you would see pretty wide balance, right? You see value area high and low, really distributed, wide balance in it. So that means that the buyers were really happy in the wide range from the bottom to the top. So right now we're just setting up we're just setting up a balance. And a lot of people thought that we had a really trend day today. But what did we trend? Did we make a higher high today? Here we made a higher high compared to the previous candle, yep, right? But of course, structurally, we're still in the downtrend, right? Lower highs, lower lows. Nothing really changed. This was just a good bounce. And it's still a bounce till, for me, till you reclaim 4,000, you're still just bouncing.
Right
so
off,
in here,
sorry, bounce right off the 4-hour closed clouds.
no, yeah, that's why I swung calls.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and if you guys look here, I mean, there's another, in between all of the stuff that we see here, there's another little zone here that they're kind of creating, right? So when you split it like this, it becomes kind of clear where the balance and values are being created. They're trying to now go up in the value and hold it here, then go to 37.66 and retest there and see if it works. If that's accepted, then they have another one, to kind of worry about here. So this would be the next one that they go for. And this one kind of the bottom of here is kind of there. And this here is a no man's land. So now if you just break the chart down like this, simply, I don't have a single indicator on my chart right now. Let me just go to 2 hours real quick. If you just look at it in 2 hours here, I mean, it looks pretty clean, right? You're creating a value now, wider value here. So if you drop back inside tomorrow, let's say you're trading just off of this, there's a good probability you're going to go to the bottom of this 36.12 because that's our structure low. Then you have, the structure high for this low, but then it's a structure low for this one and vice versa because you're building kind of like a higher values, lower values. So now you're just playing these levels. And then if you want to add anything here, you just add this guy. And you guys knew this level today, I believe. Did many of you have this level or no? Did anyone have this?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. So if you got this level here, the value area low of the whole rundown, hopefully you guys added it.
Oh, yeah, I have that.
Okay. It's a fairly important level, so I liked how Bean marked them. Drop, was it drop value area low? That's where you marked it? That's pretty good. Much
Yeah, that's what
simpler than mine. Yeah, much simpler than mine.
Now, is the drop POC really anything at this point? Because it
I'm
seems
not
like,
sure how to answer that question.
well, I guess what I'm saying is, let's assume it becomes bullish and things start going up. If it overtakes that POC, I personally don't think we're in a bullish situation, but
Well, we're bullish to this level.
Okay.
I'm not bullish, but I'm bullish to this level. Unless you reclaim this level here, really, And this supply here, we'll show it. This supply right here is pretty massive. I mean, that's a really big, and hence why we wanted to short it there to beginning, right? It's a really, really big supply there. And then here, we know this is going to be a good short opportunity here. Drop POC, guys, means I'm just looking at the most recent drop from here. And you always grab the first lowest candle. Don't grab the second one because it'll skew your data. And you grab here and basically grab your FVP and it'll give you the levels that you need to look at.
So if we're calling it drop POC now, then what's the run up POC?
Run POC. Is that being what you call it?
Works for me.
Run DMC. Got it.
Yeah. So this is, kind of what we're watching, the drop POC. So we got this, and you guys see the shelf here as well. Look at this. It's a big shelf here, but we are still below the 68% of the volume, right? This is pretty low volume, even though when you look at the distribution, you see how badly distributed this is. And you see how important this shelf is going to be here. Like literally the 3766 is going to be super important because once you're able to reclaim, I would say probably somewhere around here, let's say you start running over 3790, you open up into a skinny belly to the upside, right? So oh God. Is it 2 ends or 1 end? Skinny? 2 ends?
Two.
Two ends.
I forgot what the skinny means.
You gotta hit the gym.
I was waiting for you. Yeah, I passed all my biometrics yesterday, so I'm still good. Just looking here. So this is good. So let me just show you guys what I'm talking about on the daily. So if you look at the daily, right? Which POC should you trust more for shorting, just to make sure you guys are clear on this? Somebody's confused. Rumi asked a good question earlier. So which one would you guys trust more? This one? Or the whole thing? It's a trick question, though. Be careful how you answer.
I would
The
trust
drop.
the first one it hits.
Okay.
I'm sure both of them.
I would
I mean,
too.
you say you always say scale into strength. So as you're approaching that middle line, or even as you, like the other one said, as you approach that first line, you want to get out.
What would you short it? Like on the green line I'm putting, or would you short it here?
The drop POC. It's the most recent liquidity.
That's correct. This one from the, so remember, stock market has a little bit of a memory, right? So the latest memory has where it got sold off is where? It's right here, 3,900. Then there's another one. There's another, if you're to grab from this guy here, that's your recent sell-off. You could also grab it from here to here and see where we are and why we are bouncing maybe. Like if you look at this level, isn't the wick right there bouncing off of it? Let's take a look. Then this one here, 3697. Let's just take a look at the 36. Look at the 3697. So we're most likely, I would probably say we're headed right here. Like right now, we're headed 3697. But the correct answer was the first one carries a little bit more weight. But if they're able to get kind of hold of that one and push to the higher ones, well, then it changes the game a little bit, because then you have the ability, to really short it. But where would you short it to? That's, if you short it on the first one, obviously play the levels. But if it breaks above the first POC, gets to the second, do you get out on a previous POC or not? Trick question.
Can you say that one more time?
So we have a drop POC here. Let's say, price goes up to here, what's your first target? Is your drop POC first target?
No. You've got that little volume shelf right there with the line just above at 39.36.
But this shelf is a bunch of sellers, right?
You don't take the trade.
I see.
You don't
Okay.
take this trade short here?
No, I just thought you said it's a trick question, so.
Well, you do take the trade, but at this time I was waiting somebody would say you would have the run up. That means the price got there. So you would have to draw the FVP from
new
here
levels.
to here. You would get the new levels. Remember, market keeps a little bit
Memory.
of memory, but not that much. I just want to make sure you guys understand this concept. You got this one right, but you failed on remembering that there will be a new trend. You would need to new FVP it to know where the recent buyers, just like you're looking for recent sellers, you would have to draw a new FVP. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah, evidently our memory isn't as good as the stock market's.
No, I just want to make sure. Does everybody understand that? Because some of you guys are quiet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
visually
I
not
get it.
seeing the run up also kind of didn't
Yeah,
help.
would have struck. Yeah.
Yep. No, good. Because sometimes people fail to realize that, you know, the new buyers will not represent the old buyers. New buyers might find value at different prices. Therefore, you have to use those levels. So I think this is pretty good now so far. Let's see what we do. There's a lot of bad news in the market, so let's see what happens. So obviously I'm expecting this. Maybe I don't necessarily think it would look like two candles or rows like this, but there's a big candle right there. If we go here, you can expect this, then make lower lows, come here, let it drop, and then I think there's a high chance of this happening in case GDP numbers are bad. If they're any good, yeah, we might go higher, and I would think that we're gonna go right into this supply zone here. So we would probably run 160, 70 points in case somehow GDP numbers are good. If they're bad, just drop another 140 points from here and you would get your targets. So you would go below the current low.
That
Okay.
turns this into a giant bull flag.
Bull flag.
If it goes up, you
Oh,
get look at the length you're going to get on that run.
Oh, here? Oh yeah.
Now I'm just saying today's run up falls into a bull flag,
Oh yeah,
and then that's what
I
I'm
thought
saying.
you meant if we run up here. I was like, well, yeah, I'm sure some others are going to treat it, but yes, this would be a nice bull flag if it holds here. There's a lot of bad news coming out of Bank of England right now. Well, not Bank of England, but some bankers are speaking how today was borderline like Lehman Brothers, very close to a default on a lot of stuff if Bank of England didn't announce QE pretty much today. So they literally saved the market probably from a really steep drop, and I'm talking like 6-7% today.
What's the, like, I read it, I didn't quite understand it. For us ignorant ones, can you possibly elaborate just briefly?
So Bank of England was supposed to be tightening the balance sheet, right? Meaning they're supposed to be doing like tapering, just like, you know, our bank, Federal Bank is doing, taking the liquidity out of the market, like, you know, whether it's repos or reverse repos, depends what their position is. So taking the liquidity out of the market, not pumping the liquidity back. Because when you pump the liquidity back, you know, it means that your inflation is going to stay up because you're pumping money into the market and supply of the money is higher. It means the dollar value also goes down. As you see now, it's, you know, going much higher, but the inflation is also high for the purchasing. So what the banks are trying to do is they're trying to lower, you know, the inflation through tightening of the money supply and slowly taking liquidity out. But Bank of England was scheduled to speak tomorrow on quantitative easing and how on like tapering or slowing down, and they canceled that speech. And today they announced they're going to bail out pretty much all the funds that were failing to keep certain leverage. And
So isn't that just them putting more liquidity into the market?
Yeah,
to save everybody?
to save themselves first. But what's going to happen? You know, money can't fix every problem. There might not be enough money to fix some of these problems. So they're just digging a little bit of a bigger hole right now for themselves, because when the market pops, you know, when it really tanks, like British systems and British financial and, you know, monetary policy is going to be really screwed. And pounds at a 37-year low or a 42-year low right now. So if it's at a 42-year low, you really needed to, you know, start increasing rates and taking liquidity out to help it. I'm pretty sure if I was to look GPB or GPB, GBP, what is it?
GBP.
Yeah, there it goes. Let's look at, I mean, to me, this doesn't look like a healthy setup on the right now. So there's a high chance that you're going to be slicing through this ascending triangle. Is that correct, Dumpster? No, it was sarcastic, guys. There's no ascending triangle. So that means the British pound, you know, yeah, they got a little spike here. But this spike did not break out any previous highs. So whatever liquidity they put in, it did so much. And I'll show you guys a trick. Do you guys know about this?
No, I don't.
No, we don't.
So if you do cash reserves, you can do a couple of things here. If you do cash reserve, you can find each country and what is their kind of cash reserve. If you keep going here, you can do a lot. I'm looking to see where's. Okay, so this is, for instance, Bank of England balance sheet, total assets, United Kingdom. Since 2000, what has Bank of England been doing? We just talked about it.
They've been pumping treasuries into the market and getting liquidity.
This is a shitload of liquidity here. I mean, this is pretty bad. And if you look here in 2099, when they started dropping liquidity here, and if you go look at the chart, like one of the indexes there, just let me know what happens here when they did that. Then you can go further back. They did the same thing. We're at pretty much all-time high what they're providing now, I believe. Yeah, so they really went high. So now they have to take the liquidity out, but they're continuing. And you see the little spike here. They're still going up. So that's the concern of Bank of England. Their currency is at a pretty much their 40-year low, and you're continuing to print. So it won't end well. It's just a patch.
Dumpster went to bed, so we can do the real class now.
Good. All right, let's start it. All right, so I think we marked the PD POC right here. Skinny belly is important level. So below the PD POC, you have that. I think if you're able to get back inside this, I don't know if you want to call it falling wedge or just a channel right now. If you're able to get back inside, that would mean breaking this 3,700 level. And we just identified on this chart that 3697 is going to be fairly important, right? So that's something to watch, and that's probably where I was shorted if I was to gonna short tomorrow. Go below 3697, and you see that they're respecting these levels again. This nice range setting up here. So if we go below this 3697, high chance, go here, retest, and then we kind of open up a little bit of on entries and what we can find where to exit. So let's see here to make sure. So look at that. I mean, it's gonna be brutal, like in this congestion area here. Once we slice through this, it opens up, and then here it really goes. I mean, you have a little volume node here or high volume node here, and then the next one is right here on the PD value area low. It lines up perfectly. So if we break, below this level right here, 3693 is probably the safest to catch it all the way to 3670. So here you have 20 points. And that's probably the easiest play for tomorrow to catch this one. You could go from here to here, but you don't have a lot of meat. I mean, you have, I guess, 15 points. So between these two, but I don't think we'll get to live that tomorrow. Okay, so buy. What do you know where SPY rejects? Right off the volume node. Gonna look at this real quick. It's not a good looking 30-minute candle on close here. But do we have an FSD on 30 days, 30 minutes by any chance?
We had one that started yesterday and then pretty much finished today.
There's
But
a
not
full and down building on 1 year, 1 day.
did it trigger or not
So
trigger?
it's not triggering. The trigger zone is between 375 and 390.
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe not. So this is gonna be super, super important for us tomorrow. What play comes to your mind, guys, here? Just looking at this right now on SPY.
80% rule.
80%.
Oh my God. How would you guys play this? Give me
On a
specific.
break and a retest of the value high all the way down to the value low.
Okay, be careful.
Well, I'd watch the POC to see if it
Okay.
breaks, but or possibly re-enter and so forth.
Exactly, yeah. So you have to be aware of this POC, right? 80% rule probably becomes 95% rule once you're below the POC, like it's in this, call it freaking E-shaped or triple distribution POC volume profile. From here to here, there's probably, I would say, 95% chance you're gonna get there. From here to here, there's a 80% chance, but then you really, really take it off. Because that would mean, right, too, you know, from our notes in here, let's see, what would this mean? Which one does it hit? So if we go here, right, if we open above it and then we drop inside of it, does that highlight this one? Is that this scenario what we were after? Yes,
Yeah.
no?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes.
And it's the first one for a reason. The time of creating this PowerPoint and notes, a lot of these are gonna occur for you guys. So your bias, you really have no reason to have a bias anymore if you understand what I'm teaching you here. Meaning your bias is based on opening of the price and where the value areas are. Is that correct? If you open above the value area, let's say, and then you fall inside, well, your bias should be bearish. If you open below it, right? So this was our previous here, and this was our value area. So we never opened below it. If we opened here, then you regained it. I mean, that's a pretty good sign. And if you guys look here, I'm just going the day before. You had a previous, you know, PD vol here, and look what happened. You lost it, right? I mean, you went below it, and then you regained it. So at that point, this should be your signal here. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Can I ask you a question about, so the previous day value area, high, low, and POC, are you marking today's as then becoming yesterday's for tomorrow's action, price action?
Hold on, you're gonna have to ask me that nicer. You're confusing. Crap out of
So
me.
sorry. So today's POC, today's forming POC, which is at 371.50.
Okay, you're talking about extended hours on? Are you on SPY
No.
or in ES?
SPY.
Okay, I'm on regular trading hours.
Yeah, so am I. Am I not supposed to be?
Well, you are, but I just don't see a new POC being formed here. This is POC for today.
Right. Today's POC, which is at 371.50. Is that correct?
No, it's at 368.87.
I don't know why.
Are you on 30?
368.
Are you on 30 minutes?
Yeah.
You're on SPY?
Yeah. Very strange, I guess. Yeah, I've got it at 371.50.
Anyone else? What's your level?
$370.36 in talk.
Anyone else, guys? What's your PD? What's your POC for today, please?
Around 368 something and change.
I have 368.87. Anyone? KSM, what's yours? Doc has 371.55.
I have 371.50.
I got 371 as well.
368.90.
That's what I have.
71.63.
Yeah, that's the one I have too.
What?
Are the settings different that we may all not have?
No, it should not. It should not be.
Okay, wait. So when you go to sessions, it's not all. Is there a selected one for that?
What?
When you go into the settings for SVP, there it says sessions. You have the choice between all, each, pre-market, market.
This is my settings here.
Mine's oh wait, I'm on
There,
TV.
you have all.
I got 368.87.
That's what I have. For you guys that have something else.
Yeah, I just zoomed in and found the red line.
368.85.
Yeah,
yeah, it's all pretty close, just like right there, exactly.
I'm thinking there's two separate indicators available that is SVP.
Oh, is somebody using HD?
Oh yeah. So if you click on technicals and you click on volume profile, make sure you're selecting the session volume profile here. Let me just see if this
Oh, it's completely different. Don't
Is it?
use do not use session volume profile HD.
Okay. But it doesn't move it much.
Yeah, no, I've got the regular one on.
I have 371.57.
Can somebody share their screen that has that level, please? I'm interested. What the hell's going on? Like, why is it different? Are you guys on TradingView?
TradingView, I have 370.82.
Okay, so one of you needs to send me a chart or just post it. Ralph, I'll cover that here in a bit for you guys. Desktop app.
I actually have a video on it, Shorty. That's pretty short.
Okay. This doesn't make sense.
No, I do have 371.57.
I think there's a huge difference if you do after hours extended or not.
No, I just fidgeted with it. If you do 24 rows, it'll give you that 68 level. But if you do 100 rows, it'll give you the 71 level.
Yeah,
But,
I have 100 rows.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mine's 100 too. I always do 100. Okay, hold on. We got. Sorry, guys. I just have to.
I mean, me and Shorty have the same levels, so it's probably people with some kind of wrong setting that has a different level.
Okay, let's see.
I got 368.88 on regular hours, and then if I go extended, it jumps up to 370.62 or so, 63 or so.
Yeah, mine jumps to 370.60. That's what I get. 61 maybe on the worst day.
I mean, regular's only 368 something on mine.
Correct.
I just sent my chart.
Let me see.
What do you have under style?
Oh, I didn't mark it though. Crap.
I think it also changes based on the time frame. So if you're on 30-minute, it's
Yeah. She's on
So-
30. She is on. Okay, you're on regular candles.
Rumi, can you send your settings so we can see it?
Settings, yes.
The input settings.
Okay, Duck, are you in the mobile app? I've noticed the mobile app sometimes has different data than.
Does the candle type defer the data? Is that using
It can,
all of-
yeah. Ashi's can, but not on POC, right? A little bit here, 368.88, not much. All right, well, we'll take a look at it. I don't want to distract us all from it, but just very weird. Yeah. I'm just gonna go over these levels that I have, and the reason why I'm gonna go, not saying your guys are wrong, but this level here, if I just extend it here, first of all, it was previous resistance, and now they built volume around it right at the supply, and you know they kind of popped right off of that area of that volume. So you can go with what you have. I just don't know why we are split. It seems like people that are using desktop app or mobile app, they have a little bit of different levels. Okay. Yeah, if you're using desktop app or a mobile app, I think you have 371. So maybe Catching Rockets, you can test it if you have it. I don't use the desktop app.
I'll check my mobile right now. I mean, I'm on desktop and I have the 368
Are you on the desktop app or the browser?
app. 368, 87-ish, give or take. Or 86. Okay. And then let me check on mobile right now.
No, I checked all devices. It's same. 368.
On mobile too.
I'm on the desktop. What should I be on?
So Shorty, I checked one like in the input, like when I opened that SVP for the first time, row size is 24. If I have that, I'm getting that whatever the value you had mentioned. When I change that to 6800, it goes to 371. I don't know, like if I change that, it goes to 371. If I change the row size to 100.
Okay, we're just gonna assume that Duck is wrong. Okay, we'll move on.
If I take the standard SVP, I'm getting 368.74 is the POC. But when I change the row size to 100, it goes to 371.
Okay.
And I never got 371.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can rep. So when I switch 10 minutes, I get 370.79. On 3 minutes, I also get like right around there. I just can't get to the. Yeah, so what we could do here is hide this for a moment.
Well,
So SVP starts right here. We'll just draw a vertical line right here and ends on this candle, right? So we'll draw a fixed profile.
For me, Shorty, it doesn't matter. On the desktop app,
Yeah.
on the web browser, on the mobile app, I have the same level on every single one. 368, 68.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll go with that, guys. So obviously tomorrow, what we were saying. So here you have a little bit of a space, right? If you're able to break this, guys, because we are in a gap. If you looked at this, this dump here, there was a gap. That means, we gapped down here and then, we are rejecting out of this gaps, which is not a very good thing. So if we go back here and we are able to kind of reject this level here, I think this is previous month that we marked here, value area, previous month, maybe. If we come here and reject it, there's a high chance that you kind of start getting in, and you could probably play this rejection here, 371, 369. And if we're able to go inside of this, then you know what to do, right? You have the first POC, and then you get the opportunity to load up on a retest or a breakout, depends what your flavor is, of on shorting all the way to the June value area low, which would be 366. Maybe for tomorrow, consider using not 0DTs, consider using maybe Fridays or something further out, just to make sure the theta and whatnot is not killing you, that every little move up or opposite direction of your trade is not taking all your money. So, and you guys saw me today using SPY a little bit further out on the contract just to make sure that it was, because I could not look at the phone all day today. I was just making sure that I don't lose the whole value of the contract pretty much. Okay. Any questions on this? Fairly simple if you ask me. I mean, obviously here, if you guys look, you had a nice little trend line too. So something like this, I mean, you're hitting at least 3 points. Can you short it here? Of course, that would mean a lot of retail is getting in, and you'd be getting in as well. But you should know that this level here can fire quick. So watch that tomorrow. Short here. But we'll see how the market plays out overall. And then this is from September 23rd. So this would be a really good thing to do here, is to watch this as well. You have a POC at 367.93. So this level here, I would really mark this level if I was you guys. They can cause a major bounce here. So I'll definitely watch this here. See, and you guys see where the value area high is for this one, kind of right. We rejected it once. So if you guys think about it, if you guys think about this, we are able to break this value area high, correct? And then you're looking to do what now here? They're trying to see if they can find a new acceptance area, right? So if they don't find the acceptance, what do you guys, the best short, because you have the most data that we just selected, is here, right? So the best short is here, but you have to be aware of this level here. And if you're not confident, then just wait for this to happen. And then you have a chance to go all the way to this 364, 363.6 area. This right here is going to be a demand. And how do you know it's going to be a demand? First of all, that's where 68% of the volume, was accumulated. But then just look at the naked chart. Look at the wicks right here. Rejection, stuck, bounce, every candle closed above. So there's a high chance that we go, if it's a bad day, if they decide to run this down, it looks like 364 would be the level that they're after. And then obviously on the upside, we have the levels identified here. Okay, so everybody got it for SPY? Any questions?
Good shot.
Okay. And then Qs. Anyone surprised where we rejected? Somebody's mic sounds like you're. Whose mic is that?
I don't hear anything.
Oh, that's me, I guess.
No, I hear that.
I hear it too.
I hear it.
Oh, that is so annoying.
Han?
Man, okay. It just sounds like we're in an airplane right now.
Can someone tell me what you guys have for the previous day value area high? So if that does break, then I can play the 80% rule.
Yeah, I'll post the charts. I'll give you guys the link and you can just search it up.
Perfect. Thank you.
What the hell is that noise?
Shorty, the 3 charts you post, is it possible to pick one of them? Or
What do you mean? Pick one of them.
like, I just want to see one of them. I don't want to see all of them. You have to like drag and drop them around.
Oh, you
Reset.
guys, are you saying that you guys cannot pick one to zoom in?
No, you have to like drag it around to like watch, and the other two have to like
Oh,
minimize.
yeah. Okay. Let me see how
How
to
do
do
you
that.
how do you pick it? Because I haven't
You
tried.
can extend it. You can extend it. There is a small button. If you thumb down, there is a place to extend it.
See,
You
Yeah,
can
maybe.
pick and choose. Yeah.
Yeah, this one here, right?
Yep. You can use that to extend whatever the screen you want. You don't have to do anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Magic. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
scared me for a moment. That's what I do now. I just change it.
So to be clear, you click on the chart you want and you click that little button. That's it.
Yep. You click this and then you click the little guy here. This one has a lot of range here. Oh man. This one has some nice range here. And I mean, it's same setup as SPY here. And this 30-minute candle, is there an FSDs, guys? I'm surprised nobody's talking about them. I would think some FSDs are setting up on 30 minutes. There has to be something here.
I think there was something for SPX Gus was mentioning.
Okay, I'll have to scan them more.
And that's at 3709, I think, is setting up.
37, say it again.
3709, I think the full send.
Okay, up?
Yeah, up.
Woohoo. Okay, this is the setup I like to see. Why do you guys think I like this one better than why do you guys think I like this one a little bit better than maybe SPY here?
There's an ascending triangle.
Okay, stop it.
That POC line's a lot stronger than the rest.
The volume profile is different.
The volume profile is different, right? So a lot of volumes, skinny volumes are coming in, and then you have really nice close relationship between consolidation via VAH and this POC, as you do on SPY, if you paid attention here. But SPY has this, you know, consolidation POC a little bit below here. So you have like, what is it, $1 almost. And this one here, I mean, is on the bottom. You guys see that? So the space here is in favor of a down on tech rather than on SPY, even though tech will drag the SPY down. But this might be the play to really, really watch tomorrow. Like you get in here, man, because you're in previous day value area high, the 80% rule triggers, and this magnet here is going to pull. And it lines up perfectly with what? PD value
Is
area
Apple
low.
is Apple a larger percentage of the queue?
I think Microsoft is like 12% of SPY.
Yeah, it was Microsoft.
Apple's number one. So yeah, there's a, wow, Pepsi. Get out of here. So yeah.
So they beat Apple up there today, and then they pumped it.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job. They actually took Apple short. Yeah, I did take Apple short. I just, this run up here looked more like a compression to me than anything else. So maybe I'm wrong. We'll find out. But I did buy time. So we'll see.
What's
how
a compression?
Well, see how usually when you have something like this where you have elevator down and you see how many candles, let's say, took, you know, well, here you don't have any comebacks. Let's see here. From here to here, if you're to just count number of candles, let's say 65-minute candles. Like between these levels, for instance, between here and to get there, if you're just to count the candles on the even cycle up, you see how many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the price is really being compressed. They're not making huge highs and much bigger highs. They're slowly climbing up and compressing the price. But when you dropped, you had 1, 2, 3, let's say 4, 5, 6 candles to reach the bottom, and then you took, I don't even know how many even took your gap up to get there.
Got it.
So you're looking for these nice little compressions here, and you see here not really aggressive sellers after this, but then they speeding up here a little bit. So it's going to be interesting here in this setup.
Shorty, check
On
out the full send down Paradox just posted. SPX.
Okay, let me see. Where'd you post it?
Main chat. Paradox posted it.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Oh. Is this 65 minutes? Yeah. Ooh. That's a good sign. SPX?
Yeah.
Let me see this real quick. I have levels for SPX, guys, just so you know. I posted all that. Come on, where's the SPX? My computer froze, I think. Yeah. Okay, I thought I had levels here on SPX today. Why is it doing this? I've had all kinds of issues today with PC and TOS mobile being garbage. So that was 37.45. Somewhere around here.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah. As you guys, I mean, you can mark these levels on SPX using volume profile, but I just don't trust it as much, even though there's a gap in points between SPX and ES. Let's see, so 37. There's that 37.36 also, but it's on SPX here. So we're probably gonna fall back inside here. If we do, then we go to the bottom of this. Because this would be a quick, I don't see a lot of spike in volume. Usually when you're breaking up here, what do you guys expect to see?
Volume.
Well,
This volume.
through a gap, you're going to want to see volume increasing.
Well, here, exactly where this started, we needed to see something like this on volume.
Yeah.
And any time frame we go, I mean, let me check 65 minutes. I'm seeing a little bit of opposite, right? You're coming in here, but then the biggest volume happens where? Right at the supply. So what does that tell you? Remember, the big boys don't buy. They don't buy right here.
But they're selling. That's selling volume that we're seeing.
Yeah. This is a lot of selling volume here, right? So
the green doesn't represent buying?
it does, but you can't just trust that. So remember, if you read Anna Cooling book, you have to look at the relative volume of body of this candle, the spread of the body right here compared to the volume. So this candle here, look at the body, right? You look, it's tiny. Then you look at this candle here, pretty big candle, right? I mean,
Okay,
relative to the other ones. And then you look at this candle here. This is a full body candle almost, right? It's a really bullish candle here. Compare this candle here. Let's compare this candle to this candle. Is there any bearish volume here between these two? Like bearish volume anomalies? Well, this candle probably same size as this candle. And yet, your volume doubled on this one, but the candle did not. So when you start looking at candles and volume and relative volume here, then you start kind of figuring stuff out. Like if you look here, your biggest volume right here, I mean, I know it's 4 o'clock, so don't spend too much time at 4 o'clock candles. But here, for instance, this one at, at September 21st, huge red candle, but not the biggest volume that we've seen, right? So if you compare this volume day, compare it to this volume day, I don't know. This candle doesn't seem to be in alignment. So That's kind of how I at least look at volume, and just a very poor structure. If you guys look at volume, that's why I don't use SPX, because the volume just looks weird on all of these. But this would be a really nice short here and this matches to what we talked about on ES, the 3790 level. And where was it? Right here. So this would be a pretty good spot.
Shorty, you chart based on ES, the mini, and then you play the SPX, or you'll play the futures in the daytime?
I use ES to play SPX. SPX plays as moves as ES moves, meaning if ES is bouncing, SPX will bounce. So irrelevant where SPX level is, if ES is going to bounce at 3720, I just have to buy SPX at that level. I don't have to know the level on SPX. I do now. Before, and I got caught doing this mistake a few times. I don't know if anyone else did. Like I would buy, I'm looking at 3720s and my target's 3736. I go to my options and I'm like, man, I'll just buy 3740, but it's not 3740. I have to deduct 15 points
That
from
happens.
the top.
That happens to my dyslexic ass all the time.
So for me, it's a struggle, and it's not a struggle probably that everybody shares, but for me, it's been pretty painful when this,
especially with it being 20 points different now.
No, it's definitely a struggle for me. My dyslexic ass, just no bueno.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been bothering me for a little bit, but let's see. And then we're closing the month. We're very close to a month, and this is something special about this month. Does anyone know what this is?
End of a quarter.
End of a quarter, guys.
End of the worst trading month.
And yeah, correctly. But end of the quarter, usually, the hedge funds, you have a lot of mutual funds. There's a lot of rebalancing, and dependent, how the taxes are being filed and whatnot, there could be a little bit of adjustments, right, to their positioning and sizing. So, by Friday, if you see a spike in bonds, what would you think that is?
Money coming out of the market going into bonds.
Exactly, yeah. And if you see the dollar is weakening on Friday, for any chance, right, that means the outflow is happening from dollar somewhere else, right? I don't know, maybe yen or whatever that might be. So the Friday is going to be a really good tell sign on how we're doing, and that's why you got to pay attention on quarter end months especially. And if you ever worked in finance, I know maybe Dumpster's asleep, but quarter end months for public companies are, and we only obviously trade public companies and markets, are pretty hectic days. And I can tell you this from experience. Companies that are in any tech, if you're using any software or whatnot, your systems are shut down. 4 weeks ago, you're in a blackout. It's serious business. They want to make sure they report the numbers right after we got the earnings coming out, right? So you're going to be reporting 9 months of data for 2022, which is setting up a nice baseline to compare, whether it's 2021. I don't know if 2020 is going to be ever used as a baseline for compare year over year. But now you're building year over year comparison where you don't have an anomaly like 2020. So it becomes really good and important tomorrow in the morning to see what's in the morning.
GDP numbers?
GDP numbers, because now you have a little bit of data and confirmation, right? If you have 9 months of actuals and 3 months of forecast, that forecast is much stronger than it was when you had 6 months of actuals and 6 months of forecast. Because you have a little bit more certainty now in this forecast. So that's why that usually, in financial world, this is a really important forecast, 9+3, especially after the quarter end. And I am thinking this is going to be the weakest quarter for all the companies. So
it's also important because it's 2 days till we open up 5 more spots in the Discord.
Exactly. There you go. I think when is that?
Couple days.
So that's the third. Oh, well, first you can join if you're interested in joining. I guess the first you can join because Patreon does some Sequence does all this, some weird billing where you can't bill. You can change it now, but it would create a chaos for Sequence. And he asked that we don't do that, guys. So let's not do that.
Hard coded everything. That's why.
Well, yeah,
But
exactly. I think he has a macro for some shit here because he doesn't want to change it.
I'm sure he does have a program that does everything for him. Crazy dude. But yeah, so while we're talking about it, if anybody's interested, 25 spots are opening up in the Discord. The link will be in the description of this YouTube video. It's a good deal. Shorty really cares to help everybody that's in the Discord. So if you're trying to learn, it's the place to be.
Shorty, like when you say this quarter is going to be like a wash, is it because of the strengthening dollar? Is that one of the reasons?
Yeah, there's a few macros I would say, right? Strengthening dollar doesn't do well, for the global companies, right? That do business outside.
Yeah.
So that's gonna hurt, right? As you know, in accounting, you're gonna have some headwinds, some tailwinds because of this in FX world.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
companies are gonna have to deal with that. And the only company from last quarter, if you guys pay attention to earnings, the only company in S&P 500 that hedged properly for FX, can anyone guess who it was?
Apple.
Apple is the only one. Apple is the only company that had the lowest impact on FX on their balance sheets. So you have all these people that do all this controllership stuff, but they fail to think about CPI and inflation and dollar strengthening. So they
I think
probably.
Netflix lost a lot of money with that.
Oh yeah, they got destroyed because of Europe. They have a huge base over there as well. So yep, it's an important. And Amazon is at a really good shorting level, guys. As you guys know, we shorted it initially. Some of us held it like we said we would all the way to to the bottom. We came here to the almost 50% retracement. So now we have a really nice bear flag setting up here. I would not wait for this bear flag. I missed it today, but I'll see what tomorrow brings. This looks like a pretty good setup for shorting here. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, this is setting up nicely. We gained this POC, so 117.20. We'll watch this guy tomorrow. Any other tickers? Anyone interested?
Can you check out Meta?
Can you do Baba as well for the full cent down?
Okay, so a lot of bearish volume on 4 hours daily. Not. Oh wow, what a short squeeze here. There was a little bit of exhaustion on selling here, just so you guys know, on this ticker particularly. Some slowing down. This seems like a really important level for it. If they decide to push it up, that's a really, really good level for shorting here, guys.
Okay, that's kind of what I was looking at. Perfect.
In the supply and demand, like they say, like if you hit the place multiple times, it becomes weakening, right? Is there a magical number, or like it can be weakening on even the second attempt shot? Is there any rule we can link it to the volume to see the strength of that support and resistance?
Yeah, exactly. So that's your high and low, right? So if you think about the high and lows right here, so we broke, from here to here. If I really want to see when you broke this high and low, where's majority of the volume? So you started off at a nice volume node at this area, and then you sent it down. So a majority of the POC of the volume came in here at 146.26. So if you're gonna be, pushing here, this is a pretty good level. What would have been better setup is if this POC or maybe value area high was lined up closer to this level here. It would indicate right at this level, right? Because this was previous support, and every time we are at support, there was buyers showing up, right? So you see here, buyers showing up. The only thing is, you could have noticed here something that on this run up here, the buyers were not that aggressive. So right
So
now,
if the value area high coincides with that support, it is a sure, or the probability is higher that it is going to just reject that point.
Reject, that's correct. Yeah. And even here, you have a little bit of a high, volume node here. So I don't know how much data we have to the left here at this level, but you could take a look at this level on a bigger scale, right? If you go on the weekly, just to see if this level carries any, weight. So if I look at this, or I can go here and look at the whole thing. So it seems like a lot of volume came, majority of the volume on this run up and the run down is concentrated here, but we were able to fail that level. So now, your value area low of this whole thing is at 155, like we just talked about. It's a really good level for short, but you could reject here on the recent POC. It probably would not be strong, but there's a high chance for a rejection as well. If I was to wait patiently and see if we run up, probably this 155 level would be good. And then if you're swinging some puts, even 160. So these are the major levels on it. So yeah, 146, 155, 160. Probably, I would take a stab at this value area low here for a short. If I was to, I don't trade meta much, but this would be the level that I'm looking at.
Sure.
Yeah.
Shorty, your IWM bounced off your level today. Are you still looking to play IWM far out?
For the puts?
Didn't you say bounce here long 2 weeks out?
Yeah, so we need to, so what are we doing here? Does anyone know? Is this a good entry to buy here?
No. You want to wait for the retest, right?
Yeah, we need to confirm the acceptance, right? It's the same exact concept right here. So this is your acceptance. You break it. We need to, make sure that they are there. So tomorrow is a fairly important level, right? If they're not able to hold this, they're gonna really, really take a beating here and go lower.
Okay.
We'll probably put in a new low. And this here, if you guys just pay attention to this volume when you're looking at stuff, you pay attention to this, and you pay attention to this. Does that look correct to you guys?
Nope.
Yeah. So this move here is coming back inside. So
When we say that the bearish or bullish anomaly, like always, volume is right. The price needs to align with the volume. Is that how we need to look?
Well, yeah, exactly. So I mean, if something is going up, and for market to go up, what needs to happen?
There should be more buying pressure.
Okay, let's talk about this. Right. If I want the market to go up, if I want this price to go to $100, what needs to happen in terms of buying and selling? Think of yourself, you're on a, call it flea market, where you can negotiate price and stuff. Let's say somebody's selling, I don't know, chicken for $100, right? If these people want to raise the price, what needs to happen here?
They have to take out the buyers.
Well, they have to buy 75 chickens. That's $100. So this demand, the market has to step up aggressively a little bit more here to take these buyers out. Does that make sense?
Can I answer or no?
Eat the ask.
So you want to take the liquidity pretty much from the ask by using the demand from here.
Market orders.
And the only way you do that is through market orders, because your limit orders, do they show up on tape?
Limit orders, yes, not the market orders.
Say it again.
No, the limit orders will show up. The market orders will not show up there.
That's correct. The market orders never show up on a tape because nobody knows who's going to click market. Limit you place because you're a passive player. Whether you're a passive seller or a passive buyer, you're just playing the levels and you're waiting. When it hits, and depends how you have it set up and executed, it'll show up in a bid or ask, right? And there's 6 different scenarios that can happen in that case. But in order to move it, you're watching for the tape. And if it's aggressive buying, does this look like aggressive buying?
No.
No.
Not at first, right? I mean, they start off with a nice candle here, right? On a reversal, and then, here, big volume on this one, and the body is not that big. Then I look at this one, bigger volume here, right? The biggest volume, and it has a tiny candle. So now, I know at 4 o'clock, well, this one's 5:30. The last 30 minutes, a lot of volume came in towards the end, and we were right at the supply. So
Shorty.
let's see how we react to GDP tomorrow. That's all I'm going to say.
Really quick, Mate Dog figured out what was going on with the different POC levels.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
the exchange.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
people with only NASDAQ or whatever and not ARCA. Or
Oh, they're not getting the data. They're not
Yeah,
getting
it's
the
the other
data
way
from home.
around.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah, so CBOE BZX volume is different from NASDAQ. The CBOE BZX is won't have the same volume as the real time NASDAQ and ARCA and the other ones.
So just really quick for everybody like included on YouTube, you want to have NASDAQ, ARCA, ARCA, and what's it called? NYSC. And if you do futures, you want CME group for your live data.
Yeah, maybe we should add that to I think we should add that.
Yeah, and you have to hover over ARCA and make sure it's the ARCA that you're paying for, not ARCA CBOE by BZX. That's the default one that is delayed. That just comes with the normal trading view.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, maybe if you guys want to write that up and we'll share it with everyone. That would be helpful, I think.
Hey, Shorty, there was one thing that happened a couple days ago. I think it was JP Morgan and somebody else got in trouble by the SEC for holding the VIX down.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a few days ago. Then we had the VIX kind of rise a lot since they got in trouble.
Yep.
And so I'm just wondering if the VIX was misleading people. People, a lot of times you get closer to 40, they start buying more.
You get to 40, they start buying more.
There's a lot of
equity.
Dick, a lot of there's a trading method essentially where you get to about 34 to 35, then you start buying. You buy back in, which would explain potentially why we had so many retail buyers buying in Apple and Tesla.
Yep, that would make sense. I was just not aware of that rule. But yeah, that would make sense. I mean, and they have been compressing it using currency swaps, so. And we won't have volume here. You just have to use supply zones based off candles. Yeah, the next kind of, yeah, it's right here. So it could dump tomorrow morning and then we get a bounce from here. Chewy, let's look at Chewy. Man, is anyone buying this? Is this volume really low like this all the time? Oh, wow. That's pretty low. We bounced off of this shelf here. If you're gonna go long, 34.7 is fairly important. Yeah, that's an important level. If we go below this value area, low 31, most likely you're headed to 28 on Chewy here. Probably be the easiest play. Between these two here. It's very bad structure everywhere. Yeah, that's gonna be, yeah, it's headed 28. It's headed 28.76. Chewy is. Probably a rejection at 34.07 and then it heads down. And if it breaks 34.07, then yeah, this short here will be good. 35, 26, 23-ish. That's the level you're after. So I would watch 3407, you know, kind of draw volume. Probably stronger profile is right here at this level, 35 level. So if we get there, great. If not, then go on a retest here, and you're gonna go here. And then the other one, you want to go, if you know they go push it to 35. Let's say if they peak, sometimes they like to trap, go here. Probably take the first target here, let it drop, add more, and then just drive it probably all the way down here. So a couple of scenarios, depends what you want to do. So hopefully that helps.
How do you have all those levels in like the red writing with? I'm assuming that's volume within the bars.
These numbers?
Yeah.
Just click values. I think it's the values there. Right?
Got it.
Just tells you the order size.
Okay.
I think what else? Anyone else wants something?
Baba.
Baba.
FSB 65 minute.
It's a massive sell-off. Yeah, probably had it to 85. If it's able to reclaim this guy right here, where's the FSD on 65?
Right there at 81, I think. Dumpster had the chart earlier.
Yeah, this would be a really good spot for Baba here. And if it breaks this, let's say if it gaps up, maybe somebody can check Chinese market and see how's it doing there now. 85.78, a no-brainer here, short. Just put a little alert on this guy.
1021 75p. That's what I looked at.
Yeah, I'll watch this. This one can pay. HRB. Huh. Who's thinking ahead? Who wants HRB? Is there news on HRB or something?
I have no idea.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know the comp. I mean, I know what they do, obviously, but it has a lot of weird setups on like these very strong runs with no volume. Reminds me of a company, and I know they're not the same, but reminds me of Peloton a lot. Yeah, if I was to play this, the only way I play this long is at 40.65. I don't buy any of these flags or any of that. Can play the first retest here, probably make 40-50% on the retest. If you lose this level right here, 38.93, if you lose this guy right here, there's a high chance, obviously 80% chance you're going to go to 30. So, and you could potentially close your puts here if you're on the on that value area high. So you have about $4 here. You have about, call it $2 here, and I would not trade this here just because the volume. But this here is going to drop fairly quickly here once it loses this. So 43.40 if you're brave enough, short it. And then below, these would be the key levels that I'm looking for. but this just does not look like a healthy structure at all.
Wouldn't H&R Block probably have seasonal numbers?
Yeah. Very seasonal numbers, I would say. And somebody loaded up here a lot. I mean, they consolidated here if you guys look for a minute. Like they're here, stayed up, popped. At some point, this it's gonna have to retest here all the way here. Let me see, how does it do? So they consolidated this whole tax season here. Okay, after results, seems like they popped it and never stopped back. I think this might be entering some kind of distribution zone right here. Because they'll need to come back here and then start a rally back up for tax season. Yeah, IPO, I think we covered AMD. Maybe we didn't talk about it, sorry. So AMD is right at our level 6607. If it breaks this level, we're headed to 5937. That's where I'm adding shares at this level. At 59 here, but it's a really, really good support here. And if you guys look, this, if you're looking for long, you're really not going, till this is broken here. 69.17 would be a nice level. Let it break and then go. Just naked chart. If you're to look at, even if you look at 65 minutes here, look at this consolidation here. So break below, retest, go down, break above, retest, go long. Fairly simple on this. And I mean, there's a high chance you're going to get a nice reaction above these levels here. Because there's a lot of volume, weird volume setups here on this rundown. So yeah, you wouldn't have a chance all the way to about 78-ish, and you have a gap liquidity stop right here at that level 74. So if they're really going to push this, they're going to push it all the way to 74-ish, 75 area on AMD. It's in a good spot. While we're at it, just quickly on the video. So NVIDIA didn't reach our ultimate target. I think it's NVIDIA was 122. $119 is okay. NVIDIA is setting up for a good short. So we broke through this level and we just came back, revisit. This is a good short here. So 120, 123 and then 120 is my target where I'll probably add on the video here. I think we covered Apple. Yeah, we covered Apple, right? So we won't go through it again. So we have this rising wedge, we shorted it. You have a little bit of nice shelving here. If it decides to go here, 150, 170, we just rejected the value area low perfectly here today. So tomorrow, if you're able to lose this level here, it's going to get really, really interesting. This is the first rejection. If you guys remember today, I was kind of giving you guys some levels. The 148.37. I mean, if somebody took this today, you could have made at least, I think, 30, 40% on this play because you got a full dollar here on this rejection. I think some of you guys were talking about going long there on Apple when it was approaching here. DMs, no. Crowds, all right. A lot of these are going to have identical setups, guys. I mean, all of them. Yeah, well, this one's going to run a little bit. It's opening a run to 173, so it has a gap protection here. The stop of liquidity is right there, so I would not be shocked if they bring it back to 169 and reject. Here, if they're able to break it, then you know where to short it. That would be a really good short on crowd. This is your patient short here. Snow. Okay, we're approaching some levels here. Still consolidating here, but I'm seeing something, 10 minutes that I like. Not much on 65 minutes that I like here. On 10 minutes, I like that, towards the end here, they started picking up some volume. Descending volume here on the fall off from selling, but then picked up. But we had the same story on this run up here. We had the same story, pushed up, and then you also had a lot of selling here. So the best thing you can do, what would you guys do here just to see how balanced it is or imbalanced? So just grab this guy right here and see what's going on. You just dropped inside this value area high. So there's probably a good chance you're going to be revisiting here 172. So if you're able to break this 172, probably a high chance if you break it down to go 169. So you got almost like 3 points up, 3 points down. And then obviously if you go all the way down, you have some low liquidity here in between, which is going to be pretty much a flying, once it dips below 169. You also get 3 points down. So pretty much all the areas are split into $3 on snow right now. So these would be kind of the levels that you play on longs and retests. You do have a little shelf here on top of the skinny belly. So in between, those are low levels where you can expect some support to show up between here or resistance. But here, just simply, you see 172, how important it's going to be. Okay, I'll do a few more and then Snow, we covered Apple, we covered AMD, Crowd. Did I miss any from here? Roku. Again, same setup. Yeah, this looks like a perfect setup for loading puts here. Didn't I say my target was 40 or something like this on this? Not that I'll buy the shares, but I thought my target was 40. Yeah, I deleted it. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, 43.62. I wouldn't even touch it with your money till here. Gonna come back. PG. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. How do you guys feel about malls and shopping for clothes going inside the malls? I just want to see random people. You guys enjoy it?
I can't stand it.
Can I hear it from ladies though? I mean, do you enjoy shopping online versus Walmart? Oh, not Walmart. Sorry, mall.
I used to like going to the mall, and now it's just more convenient to go online. And also, I'm very scared of being in congested areas for obvious reasons of people acting crazy and shooting up people. And there was a recent thing in Houston, is where I live, at their large mall, that they caught somebody before he, terrorized with his gun.
Yep. The reason why I'm asking is I talked to my wife about this the other way. We went to the mall, and I don't even know if she needed some perfume. Joe Malone, I don't know what she needed. She wanted to go get it and said sure. It was first time for me in the mall. I don't even know how long. And I just don't know if they're shoppers or they're window shoppers that show up to the mall. So, and the reason why I asked that, because this is the Simon Property Group, they own a lot of malls, right?
It's a dying trend.
If the stores are not making money from mortar stores and e-commerce is booming, think about yourself as a CFO of these companies. What would you do to the brick and mortar?
Close them.
Fortunately, that would be the plan, right? And if you guys look at the trend a little bit to the left and right, not only retailers, but look at even fast food, chains, you'll notice that there's a lot of consolidation coming. Like Starbucks is going to be closing down stores and left and right. Subway did the same thing. I think if you guys look at Macy's, we can look at Macy's stock, but they're struggling like financially. If you guys look at their financials, I think they're barely meeting ends. And then I think J.C. Penney, I don't even know if they're open. I don't know if they exist. But they are also like one retailer inside the malls. And once you get these malls to start closing down, especially stores closing down, drive to, malls closing down, because there's a mall by like close by, maybe 20 miles from me. It used to be a hot mall, meaning like all the teenagers would go there. It was pretty packed. And then all of a sudden they started getting some off-brand stores because the kids stores like Abercrombie Fitch, Hollister, they all bounced. They closed the stores, and for the same reasons like that Rumi was bringing up, whether it was violence or whatnot, but they started getting out of there. And then soon you get PG store, you get KM store, and you go in there and it looks like like you've never seen before. And there's no security, there's nothing there. But I think this is a trend. I think this is way overpriced. I don't know their financials, but I would think that I think that this is going to go below 28 within a couple of years. And I would not touch it, but yeah, I would not buy this me personally, but I'm pretty sure this company is paying dividends or something to keep their shareholders happy.
They paid dividends, I think.
Yeah.
There's a mall close to me where they shot Back to the Future. The mall that was in Back to the Future. If you go in there, like half of the stores are empty. There's just nothing.
Yeah, look at this rejection here, man. This was an amazing short here.
Yeah.
This was
POC.
This was just beautiful. You would have got 60 points. I mean, yeah, you guys just scan through some of these and just run these and wait. Like Macy's. I mean, look at this. Like, what in the world? Why is this even at $16? Like, oh my God, they went $76 on this whole run. Nothing against the store, but just you can find a lot of same shit online.
There is one thing nice about malls, like during the summer, they're ice cold. So for people that can't afford AC or whatever, it's probably like a nice getaway. Walk around. Probably window shop though.
Yeah. Still doesn't help Simon, Ooh. There's something in the making here. Wow. Well, I don't think you guys will be shopping at Macy's if there's a recession to come, would you? What do you guys notice about this balance here or imbalance break? I'm on the monthly candles, guys. Yeah, this has a high potential to go into single digits here very quickly too. And I hate Macy's. I don't know if you guys know from trading, I hate Macy's. It's a shit company and treats people like shit too that work there. All right, let's see. I'll check ES one more time. See if we got nothing. So we just held this level here. But this was I don't know if anyone took this here, but I added some puts here. This and Rumi, this is a prime example why I keep those levels so close. Right here.
So if it goes above that and it closes over that, then you would cut it.
Yeah, exactly. I will cut it, and this becomes a really good chance that we go to 37.80, so 30 points up. But for now, I'm just looking from here to here. This becomes a really nice zone for some puts.
Wow, nice.
35. And then I can put my stop loss right above here. So I'm only risking 3 points right now in this trade. If I was to short it at this POC, Risking, I'll probably put it maybe at 37.38. So I'm risking 3 points for my trade, and if I take it down, I could take it all the way down for 9 points. So it's a 3-to-1 trade here. It's a really good trade setup.
No.
And I don't think we're, well, I don't know right now, maybe normal hours. I don't think we would break this value area low here. All right, guys. Well, hopefully you guys picked something up. I'll be live tomorrow, so we'll look for some plays. I think last live, excluding lottos, well, I think we went 9 for 9 on SPX. So hopefully we can get some nice range tomorrow to trade it, and we'll see if we can nail some bangers tomorrow. See if we can make some money.
Thanks, Shorty.
All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good night.
Later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.